Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, well, thank everybody for coming to this packed house meeting of the City of Sidney City Council, Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, the greatest city in the world, because of all you guys that come to these meetings, and that is fantastic. So, we are going to do this meeting in accordance to the Open Meetings Act, which is posted on the wall back there. I made it, so we have no one to excuse tonight. And then we will start off with comments by the public. I know we have some public members that would like to come up and make some comments about some things going on.
I'll go first. I have a couple things. So, some documents, plus some votes. Sorry. Have a lot of papers.
I guess I took two.
So for those that don't know me, my name is Krista Bruns. I am here to tell you about an awesome opportunity that I am working with that will benefit our town tremendously. So as part of through the court improvement project, we are reached out to Bannister's Leadership Academy. It is a nonprofit organization out of Omaha. And as you can see with all the documents that I handed out, they have a wealth of information, resources that they are willing to come to our area to help provide. One of the biggest ones that they will be doing right off the bat and that we are working on now is free after-school daycare. This one thing is, when I say free, it's completely free. It is not restricted by what your parents make. So one thing that comes hand in hand, if you look at the last page, is that they are hiring Sidney, Cheyenne County, whatever area employees. They currently have hired their lead director, Carrie Persino, which is here with me tonight. They will also hire 3 to 4 more staff depending on kids. And the big thing is that what they're needing is a building. So a building that they can get it for free. So at least looking at a 2-year commitment. And in order to give this to the families for free, we have to support them as well. So he has 2 large donors that have already reached out to him that wants to help the Panhandle. They want to help the families in our area. So with that said, if you look at the last page, you can see that where all the dollars are lying and that they're looking at some seed money around, I think it is $30,000 on there to help with that. Ideally, it would have been perfect if we could have rolled that out this June before school ended, but unfortunately, all the buildings that we have reached out to, we haven't had any yeses yet. And so that is why I'm here tonight, to let you guys know about that opportunity and trying to get this out in front of the community to know it's coming. It is going to come, and again, looking at around 35 to 50 kids. So that number is kind of low, but we want to make sure it's successful before we just open it up to more. And then, of course, if we have a building space, we have the license that they will provide. They will provide insurance for their staff. They will provide the insurance that covers for the daycare facility. I'm really excited about this opportunity. One other thing that Bannister Academy does is they are providing mental health virtual for anyone in the state of Nebraska. So that is already in place for our area. And so that is what we're focusing on now, that and the daycare. And one thing I always like to end with is that with this non-restriction of income, a lot of parents that work in Sidney may not live in this area, but they work here. So say if you live in Sterling or you live in Kimball, but you work here in Sidney, that's not going to stop you from providing or applying for this daycare. So say next summer comes and you live out of this area, but you want your kid in the town with you, you can sign them up. And so then that can help those parents continue working their full-time jobs where nobody has to take off time. So thank you for allowing me to talk, and I hope you guys find this information very beneficial. Mr. Bannister's numbers are down at the bottom along with his email, and of course you can reach out to me as well. Thank you.
Chrissy,
Oh, yes.
would you mind?
Please, go ahead.
Do you want to reach out to me when you get time? I might have a couple ideas for you, but I don't know. So I assume it's first come, first served rather than on income level, but.
Yes,
So
it
just
is
whatever
first
you got
come, first
room
served.
for,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I might have a couple ideas for you.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, the next public comment we are ready for. See how I made it sound like there was going to be several? Oh, there is. Yeah, I love it.
I would just like to make a really short comment. I went by the solar field this weekend. Becky Probst. And I really want to thank you for that. That's very exciting. I'm really glad we've got that here. So thanks
Well,
a lot.
thank you.
Cool, thank you.
All right, could be a 2025 record if we get our third public comment of the night. All right, well, we will let it, well, technically, do we sing happy birthday to Vicki Lowry for public comment? Is that something we can do? I'm ready.
The other one would be the loose lips.
All right, that's good enough then, I guess. All right, then we will move right on into the approval of the council meeting for the April 22nd meeting, where I was committed, where I committed, or they committed for me to setting a goal of 0 fatalities for our Safe Streets for All action plan, which I do agree is an excellent number to shoot for. That is fantastic. And then it also ended with my phone number of 308-249-2321. You can call it any time if you have any questions. Please feel free to do that. So is there a motion to approve those meeting minutes?
I will motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Kirkman, second by Bondergaard. Roll call, please.
Crookman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bonneberg.
Yes.
Fantastic. Motion to approve the meeting minutes passed 5-0. And now we have an ordinance, 1870, authorizing the change of park hours. Chief Sam Lovato.
How you guys all doing? So this will be our second reading for this ordinance. The road we're proposing, though, is for Park Ordinance 1062.02 and 1062.03, which talk about the actual park hours for the city of being from 11 to 6 a.m., as well as the pond hours, which are currently 11 to 6 a.m. Now, this being our second reading, we've got some feedback on it, and I want to kind of clarify some things real quick. Those park hours from the dawn to dusk is what we're looking at. Doesn't stop athletic events. It doesn't stop the use of the horseshoe pits, the basketball courts, softball fields, or anything else that has adequate lighting. If the lights are on and you can actually still keep playing, by all means, game on. It's just going to, what we're trying to figure out and trying to curb is we're getting people that are parked in Memorial Gardens, they're parking on the streets behind the softball fields, or parking in corners, doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing. This is giving us an opportunity for us to have more teeth in making contact, figuring out what's going on, whereas right now at 11 o'clock, especially in the wintertime where it's dark at 4 and 5, what exactly is going on in the parking lot and in the pitch black area? What's going on in a playground that we can't patrol? When the sun goes down, it gets really hard for us to see what's going into that area for us to ensure the security of people wanting to send their children there. A lot of times children go there without adult supervision. It's hard for me to be able to ensure that security if I can't see what's going on. Even if we get out, walk around, our park system is very, very big. I mean, has all the trail system, everything else. By the time we got through one side, it would be time to start over and do the other side. It does limit us a little bit. We do the best we can with the resources we have, but between the hours of 6 and 11 is also when we're the busiest handling 911 calls. So this is kind of the best solution that we can come up with. It's been kind of copied at a lot of parks throughout Nebraska, where it's the dawn to dusk. One of the other things that did come up was our trail system. Our trail system is currently already on a dawn to dusk time frame, so that wouldn't be changing that trail system at all. This isn't a decision that's in any way meant to take away from the citizens and their use of the public parks. It's to only enhance the safety of it and to ensure some securities for the residents and the faculty, and for Chase that doesn't have to keep repairing bathrooms and toys and equipment. Also saves us money on instead of us having to dedicate so many man hours to investigations, to tracking down videos, watching videos through the court process. This is what we're trying to curb with it. We're in no way, by following this ordinance, are we going to be restricting anybody from the park or hopefully taking anything away from the park. Any questions?
I have one. On your dusk to dawn, are you talking sunset to sunrise? Because like last week I was sitting in the park, sunset was at 6:19. I was there for another 45 minutes and it was nice and bright and the kids were still playing. I mean,
It would be dark, so whatever.
so when the street lights come on, you go home.
Yes, when it's dark and you can't play whatever game you're playing anymore or
Then-
see what you're doing,
Okay.
then that would be what we would enforce. Same thing with sunrise. You get the morning glow before the actual sun comes up. As long as you can see is what we're looking to
Okay.
enforce. We're not looking to enforce anything theoretical or astronomical, whatever it is. We're looking to make it, when it's dark, park's closed. To kind of make it simple, so.
Yeah.
And that's going to be written in the ordinance then? It's going to say, the whole point we're talking about with athletics, it will explicitly say if there is not adequate lighting, then
that's
that
what
means the
how it
park is
reads.
closed.
The revised version reads right now, as long as they're adequate lighting and it's not interfering with the safety or peace of anybody else. So in other words, as long as you're not making a ruckus and people can't sleep and that kind of stuff, and there's adequate lighting, you're more than fine to keep playing.
Okay.
Answers my question.
And the trail, so from approximately 8:30 at night until 6 o'clock in the morning, the trail's off limits, or you can still use it as long as you're not.
By the letter of the law, the trails would be technically closed. We have not traditionally enforced that. So if we see people using it for early morning runs, I know a lot of people like to go on runs before the morning, we don't really balk at it too much. Now, where we kind of get concerns is we've had issues with the porta potties along the trail. When we look and we see kids with backpacks and they have spray cans of paint and it's still dark outside, that kind of gives us the ability to more or less go and engage and, hey, what are you doing? Park's closed. You can't be here. You need to go home. You're also out past curfew. It kind of gives us more teeth in the fight, I guess, if you will.
Okay. Anybody from the public have any questions, comments?
Ask a question. Is there a fine, or what happens if you're caught in the park?
So traditionally, we'll ask you to leave. If you don't leave, then we'll kind of go down more of the trespassing route.
So it'll be a trespassing violation?
If you don't abide by by the code and when it's closed, so.
Thank you.
Huh? Anybody else? Wow, this is
Perfect,
way
perfect
easier.
time to ask questions. He's standing right there.
I like it.
What's that, man?
I like it.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. All right.
We should bring her more often.
I know, two great comments already, and I'm counting that as a public comment as well, for that were 3, and now we have a record. With that being said, we will move to ask for a motion to designate ordinance 1870.
So moved. I'll second.
And there's the second. Motion by Radcliffe, second by Bondegaard. Roll call, please.
Coons,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bonnegar,
Yes.
Kirkman.
Yes.
All right. Motion to designate ordinance 1870 passes 5-0. Clerk, please read the title.
An ordinance of the City of Sidney, Nebraska to amend Chapter 10, Streets, Utilities, and Public Services, Title 6, Other Public Services, Chapter 1062.02, Closing Hours, Chapter 1062.03, Park Regulations of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Sidney, Nebraska, to repeal any ordinances or part of ordinances in conflict therewith, and to provide for an effective date of this ordinance.
All right. Is there a motion to waive the 2 readings?
I'll move.
Motion by Bondegaard,
I'll second.
second by Radcliffe. Roll call, please.
Sherman,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bonnegar,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons.
Yes.
All right. Motion to waive the 2 readings passes 5-0. So we have a motion to pass ordinance 1870.
I'll motion to pass the ordinance.
A lot of work going on up here.
Second.
Motion by Kirkman, second by Radcliffe. Roll call, please.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bonnegar,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Sherman.
Yes. All right, clerk, please read the number.
1870.
Excellent, thank you. Motion to publish 1870.
I will also motion to publish.
Thank you, Mr. Kirkman.
And I will second that.
All right. Motion by Kirkman, second by Coons. Roll call, please.
Bonnegar,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Radcliffe.
Yes.
All right. Motion to publish 1870 passes 5-0. We are officially making the park closed to the public between sunset and dusk. Dusk and dawn. Difference.
Dusk and dawn.
About a half hour there, just so you know. All right, so we'll move on to resolution 202-50501, approval of the purchase of a replacement bus.
Council. Transportation ridership continues to grow and to meet and exceeds the needs of the public. With over 30,000 rides this state fiscal year to date, we are kept very busy. To continue to help with the public with rides to work, hospital, shopping, and children to schools, we will need to make sure our fleet can meet these requests. In the beginning of April, we had a bus go down with a blown engine. We talked about that last time. This bus was over 4 years old and meets the requirements by the state to be disposed. With the condition of the bus and the previous health issues, we wish to move forward and replace this bus. The cost to repair this bus is just short of $12,000, while the purchase of a new bus will cost us $12,500. City transportation employees discussed the needs of the community and agreed to a 12+2 passenger bus would best fit our needs. That's the ones that we mostly have running around town now. Per the FTA purchase agreements, the bus costing $125,000 will be split and paid these ways: 80% federal, 10% state, and 10% local match. This means we're responsible for $12,500 towards the purchase of the bus. And with supply chain issues, this will be not available for 180 days, put us roughly around October, November when we're expecting to see that. Like I said, we talked about it last time. It's been a bus that's caused us many problems. And I know you can't buy a new vehicle for $12,500 anywhere else. And so I definitely agree with going forward with it. Since Kirkman likes numbers, I printed off you guys that cool little
Everybody
sheet
likes
where we're at
numbers.
for
Come on,
numbers.
not just me, it's
I'm
everybody.
singling you out on that one. Like I said, we're well over 30,000 for this year. We'll come close to probably about 35,000. Compared to last year was 25,000. The year before that, 16. So you can see the growth that we have. And then also, I broke it down just to kind of see where we're at on rides to show you guys with the public. Our busiest day last month was 212. 10 of those were to the hospital. 50 were to and from work. 60 were to shopping. That could be Walmart, getting split kind of in that general concept. And then 92 were for school. So we are school heavy, but that's still 120 rides that were devoted to the public. So obviously we are moving around. That was with only 5 buses, so that was really impressive by everyone for us. So I'm just requesting to get the nod to purchase a new bus to replace our failing bus. Do you guys have any questions?
$125,000 bus for $12,000.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Anybody got questions?
Have you ever had a situation where you weren't able to do a pickup, like weren't able to, because you didn't have a vehicle? I'm just
It's-
curious about.
Now that we have 5 buses right now, we are getting in a little bit tight spots when there's school pickups in the
Yeah.
morning and stuff like that. We always devote, when we have 2 new buses coming, so when school comes around next year, we'll have 4 to 5 buses working on just school kids, while we'll have 2 or 3 devoted to the public, so that way we don't have those wait times.
Sure.
Right now, during the busy times, you're looking at probably a 15 to half an hour minute wait
Okay.
for those rides, but during regular hours, I can get someone to you within 5 minutes, and I think that's what the public really enjoys, is the swiftness that we can get to your doorstep and drop you off anywhere in town for $1.50.
Right.
You can get a punch card
Yes.
for $15 for 10 rides right here.
Plus 1 free.
Plus, so 16 free ride.
No, it's $15.
What's the math?
Oh,
on that?
see, I'm not
10
doing the
rides
math.
plus
10
1
rides,
free.
11.
Yeah, there you go.
See? Some of us don't like numbers.
I don't necessarily like them either, but
Did you hand these out to the 2 fine ladies that gave public comments tonight? Yes. Try and enforce the positive reinforcement for public comments.
there you go. Very nice.
Get a free bus card.
Just remember that next time. But yeah, any other questions?
No.
Seems like a great program, and it would be silly for us not to. So do I have a motion to pass Resolution 202-50501?
I will motion.
Motion by Kirkman,
I'll second.
second by Bondegaard. Roll call, please.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bonnegar.
Yes.
All right. Motion 202-50501 passes 5-0.
Thanks, guys.
I have a signed copy of it right here.
All right, perfect. I'll get a copy and back to work.
Bam.
All right, we have Resolution 202-50502. Approval of a Temple Juleps for the new Alta Convenience Liquor Store Manager.
Hi.
You just state your name.
I'm Temple Julius, and I'm the new manager of Alta Convenience on Illinois Street.
All right, and we're just switching manager names to a
From Carolyn Mack.
permit that you already have.
Yep.
All right. Sam, got any concerns?
No, sir.
No. Anybody else?
No.
I think it's good. It's good for the schools, right? So just let's do it.
All right, we're gonna make it easy on you.
All right, thank
Anybody
you.
else have any comments? All right, do we have a motion to pass Resolution 202-50502? Motion by Bondegaard.
Second.
Second by Radcliffe. Roll call, please.
Coons,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bonnegar,
Yes.
Kirkman.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, we are on to a mural request at Legion Pump House as applicable. Donovan coming to talk to us. How are you, sir? Not too bad.
Hi there. My name is Donovan Borgman. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever been affected by suicide at any time in your life? I just want you to think about that while I talk. I'm here today to ask you guys if I can have a suicide prevention mural put up on the west side of the pump house located on the south entrance to the Legion Park. One reason we should have permission to put up this mural is because 1 in 3 people are affected by suicide every day, whether it's you or your friends or family or anybody else you might know. This started when I really wanted a suicide prevention mural in Sydney. The reason I wanted this was because people are affected many times, and I've seen it just like throughout my life. And using this pump house will mean that community members and visitors will see this project every day because of the location and that it's a high traffic zone. Another reason we should be able to get permission to put up this mural is because hopefully it will send out a powerful message So far, I've raised over $2,000 out of the $6,500 needed for this mural. The person painting this mural's name is Jonathan Judge, and he's based out of Sterling. The last reason we should take mental health problems so seriously is because it not only affects our daily lives, but hopefully this mural will show people that they have hope. We also need to help people with these mental problems before they lead to bigger things like suicide or hurting others. If you all can grant us permission to use the west side of the pump house, it will help this project go further. And it can help people realize the seriousness of suicide and start to rethink the options they have. I am partnered with Be Here, the local suicide prevention group, in this project.
Excellent. Well, are you ready for a few questions?
Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate your presentation. Very nicely done. I don't think anybody can argue with why this is a good idea. Do we have any questions on?
Not really a question, but I do have a concern with the building. With that being a municipal well, that's regulated by the state and federal government, and it's inspected every 3 years. And you can't paint anything on the inside, equipment or anything like that, but they also regulate the outside. So if there's chipping paint, anything like that, it has to be taken care of constantly. And the city actually can be fined if they don't. So I have an issue with it being on that well house. I mean, right on the brick. If we could put a board or something like that and paint it and mount it to the, would be fine. But other than that, I mean, I think we need it. But have you looked at any other locations that are that are owned by the city?
No.
One I brought up when I seen it was the old swimming pool where we have the basketball court. You got Toledo Street on one side, you got the walking trail and the softball fields on the other. That is one building that isn't regulated. I have personally not talked to Chase because that's a parks building. But I mean, I think that might be a better location. And you also have, you've got the community center, the tennis courts. That's a pretty high traffic area right there too. My concern with the well house is just the state and federal regulations on the building itself. So,
David?
When the meeting packet came out, and by the way, thank you for bringing this to the public's attention, and very brave of you to champion this cause. When the meeting packet came out and Rob mentioned that to me and had mentioned the pool, I went and drove through there. I drove through that ball field parking lot to see what the view was like from there. And honestly, I think that side of the Lodgepole Creek where the pool is higher than where the ball fields, because it's a great view from all the ball fields and the trails. So I don't know if that's something that is important or not, but I was worried that it would be lower and nobody would be able to see it, but it's actually not. The pool is a really good view from there, so that's all. I just wanted to take a look at it and make sure it wasn't going to be kind of hidden, but it's actually not.
So the city has no issue with changing the location, or if, and you said
I mean, if they
you
need
would
to
be
think
open
about whether they're open to that or not, that's
possibility, is that?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Will it have the suicide hotline on it, or?
It's this picture. Is it
Yeah, I
going to
think
look like this?
I believe it.
That's
No? Okay.
It's a cool looking thing.
Yes. Yeah,
So
no,
is it a standard size, or can it be flexed with the size of however much room we have on the pool or whatever?
It could be like flex with whatever.
I think on that building, you could do an oblong or a square probably, depending on, because it is kind of a longer building. It just depends on how you wanted to do it.
fantastic. Well, I think, number one, you did a fantastic job. Very proud of you coming up here and doing this. It's a very awesome cause to support, and we appreciate you doing that.
No, I was just gonna, how do you feel about it since it is a parks building?
Oh, okay, let's ask Chase.
Chase.
Finally asking.
No, I'm completely fine with it.
Okay.
On any side that you would like to.
The one facing Toledo, that's where all the equipment's parked. I think
Yeah.
it would block it on that side.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking at from the trail side, because part that faces Toledo, that's where all the big tall fence is. I don't know that that would be a good view. I don't think people get a good view of it, but the other sides are all fine.
So what grade are you in, Donovan?
I'm in 7th grade.
This is very brave of you to come up and do this. What inspired you to want to do this?
Really just my mom was very involved in it, like as I was younger, like the suicide prevention walk and things like that, and I guess it just kind of stuck with me, and I can see that it affects people
Yeah.
in their lives, so that's just, yeah.
Gotcha. So are you going to do all this yourself then, or what's the plan with that?
Fundraising and everything, yes, but I have a painter, Jonathan
You got a
Judge.
painter, okay.
He's based in Sterling.
What did you say your painter was?
Jonathan Judge.
Okay. Hey, very cool. No, this is awesome. It's very brave of you.
Great idea.
Yeah, and again, is there a number or somewhere we can reach out to for people to give the rest of that $4,000 that he needs to make this happen?
I could, yeah. Do you like need it?
If you want to give it out, or I can give out my phone number and then they can call me and we can call you too, however you want to do it.
I think that would work good.
All right. So, that's a very brave decision. So 402, or excuse me, I don't even know my own number anymore. 429-2321. Please call me. 249. See? I don't even know. Let's go through this again.
Numbers.
I know. Ever since you said that, I don't even understand numbers anymore. 249-2321 is my phone number, and you can call me and we can work out a donation. One more time, 249-2321.
So if anybody wants to donate, call
Anybody
me.
wants to donate the remaining $4,500 to this young man to create this painting, we'll certainly gladly do so. And anything else we need to say? Other than that, we're very proud of you, and that was excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
All right. So now we will. Now we'll go ahead and vote. Is there a motion to,
Could you?
or do we need to?
Do you want to state the motion of the change of venue as well?
I would love to do that for you, Lori. Make it easy for the notes. All right. Do we have a request for the mural at the old pool house no, is that what it's called?
Old pool building?
The old
go with
pool
that.
building at the park to be painted.
I'll move.
Oh, you got it.
Motion by Bondegard,
Second over here.
second by Kirkman. Roll call, please.
Sherman?
Yes.
Redcliffe?
Yes.
Bondegaard?
Yes.
Kirkman?
Yes.
Coons?
Yes.
Perfect. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you again. All right. We have a reclaiming cemetery lots. Chase Frericks.
Tough act to follow.
I was just going to say that, but give it
Do
your
my
best shot.
Yes. Good evening, City Council and Mayor. My name is Chase Ferricks. I'm Parks Department Superintendent. I'm here to update you on our process of reclaiming lots in Block A of the Greenwood Cemetery. In 1920, the City of Sydney acquired the Greenwood Cemetery from St. Patrick's Catholic Church. During that time, 4 blocks were established, Block A, B, C, and D. And the city has identified 68 lots in Block A that have been abandoned or unclaimed. Based on State Statute 3-906, municipal cemeteries may reclaim unused lots after a 3-year period. Some of these lots that are in question for reclaiming have been vacant since we have bought the cemetery back in 1920. More obligations are that such notification of reclaiming lots shall be published once each week for 4 weeks in a newspaper of general circulation through the county in which the cemetery is located. If no person appears to claim such lots or interests within 15 days after the last date of publication, the cemetery can reclaim the lots for resale. The City of Sydney has published this notice of abandonment lots to the Sun Telegraph on dates March 13th through April 3rd. This will fulfill the obligation for 4 more weeks being published in a newspaper inside the county in which the cemetery resides. The city also has posted such notice on our website and Facebook page as of March 4th. And we are giving individuals 1 year from the date of publication, March 4th, to come forward to claim their abandoned lots. If no such person appears, the city will change the records to reflect the city of Sydney as current owners as of March 7th, 2026. And we will consider the above-mentioned lots as available for sale. Reclaiming of these lots will allow the city to sell these lots at current prices, which have gone up a little bit since 1920. And we'll also allow for a wider range of availability for lots to be purchased. As of right now, Block 15 is filling up faster than anticipated, and hopefully this process will combat that issue. My recommendation is to continue to move forward with the reclaiming process in Greenwood Cemetery. And if any citizens have questions about these lots, they can reach out to City Hall at 308-254-5300. Also want to give a huge thank you to Kim Phillips. She has done a lot of this work. This kind of started all the way back in August of last year, identifying this block and these spaces, getting all of the names of people that have purchased these lots. So huge thank you to her. And then another thank you to our cemetery sexton, Chad Radke. He was able to look at more than just these 68 lots. When we started, we were at probably close to 100, and he was able to probe many of them, see if anything's there, and then also be able to get rid of some of these lots that we would not be able to get equipment in for full burial. So thank you to both of them.
Very nice.
Questions?
Which part is Block A, just because I'm curious?
Block A, so like right when you come in, it's the second block on your left. So they did Block A, B, C, D. Yeah, so they did it backwards. And then, so this is the oldest block in our cemetery.
Yeah, super interesting. Have we ever done anything like this before?
We have in the past.
When was the last time we did this?
20 years ago.
I don't remember.
Okay,
They did Block C 20 years ago.
gotcha.
Do we remember, do we have any oopses, like someone suddenly showed up and wanted their block that we,
Not to my knowledge.
it's unlikely, but.
We have the list. Put that in the council packet, but also have published it. And they have to show some form of deed to the land or to the piece spaces.
And I believe Kim actually had some contact by some people that did come forward to claim some lots.
I did have a couple people call and inquire, but I told them we had to have some form of identification that they were the next of kin, not down the line, but the next of kin, whether by an estate or letter notarized saying that they are the next of kin. But this gentleman that reached out is not, he's like fifth in line. And we've only had 2 contacts, and one had really nothing to do with what we were doing. They wanted in a different block, so.
Well, we appreciate all the hard work.
Yeah.
Hunting these down, a lot of paperwork, and now we wait.
Yes,
Wait,
hurry
yep.
up and wait.
All right. I'm good at that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chase.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, Downtown Revitalization Grant.
So, yeah, unfortunately, Brandy is out of town doing her duty for her country, so you get me tonight. If you remember, a long time ago, we applied for the CDGB funds for the Downtown Revitalization Program. We applied for those and were awarded in 2023 for downtown business owners to do something a little bit more larger of projects than what possibly we could do through our LB 840 fund or Historic Preservation Board. And now we do have some people that have filled out the applications and they're moving forward with this. And I believe Megan is here tonight from Spring Creek Cleaning. They are one of the people that applied to this grant to get some refunds reimbursed to do some major renovation on their properties. The way this grant works, though, and I've never seen this before, and I think it's interesting, that every time they submit for a reimbursement through this grant, the council has to come back to the council. So you'll see us again. I'm sure you'll see Megan again, too, because she's just now starting out on this. This is probably going to be her first drawdown. And we do have other people that are applying as well. So we'll be coming back to you. Generally, we don't have to come back to the council with every drawdown on a grant, but this one does require it. So we do run through PAD. We partnered with Panhandle Area Development District on this. And Megan has been through all the phase 1, phase 2 environmentals, filed all the appropriate paperwork, appropriate contracts with laborers and everything else that's needed to meet the grant requirements for her to receive this request for drawdown. So super excited that somebody is using it and going to get some money back from it. But I do need approval from council to request the reimbursement, which is not our money, it's the grant money. So just to be clear.
Legally, don't we have to have Megan say some stuff? You don't have to. I'm so sorry. I like to. No, you guys are doing a lot of great stuff over there. If you just tell us a little bit about what you got going on over there. I know that that's one of the 4 old gas stations in town that have been remodeled to look way better and become a very nice place of business. And I know you have there's another business inside there with you, isn't there?
Yep. So we own AA Tint and Spring Creek Cleaning right there down in that location. So when we first got that building, it needed some code updates and other things. So we've been trying to work with the city with what grants we can to try to make that building historically accurate, but also utilizing it for what we can to do our restoration business there. So this is hopefully the last thing we'll be able to or have to do to the building. We are installing garage doors that will actually make it go back to what it looked like in 1960.
That's awesome. Well, we definitely appreciate that and the attention to making the place look better for certain, but also for it to work better for you. I love it when we can help out existing businesses and help improve their whereabouts. Any other questions?
Sorry, where does the money come from? I just have to ask the question.
We had applied back in 2023 for a community development block grant through the state, so that's where
This 12,906.
Right.
Okay, got it. Understood. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for undergoing the peer pressure of coming up here and talking. All right. Any other questions?
Nope.
I have a motion to pass the
I
downtown.
would motion that we approve this payment. How's that?
I'll second.
Corey loves those kind of vague ones. Motion by Radcliffe, second by Kirkman. Roll call, please.
Radcliffe?
Yes.
Bungard?
Yes.
Kirkman?
Yes.
Coons?
Yes.
Sherman?
Yes. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Brickyard Engineering Agreement,
I guess
Northside Park.
This is also this is a project we've been working on for a long, long time. Council's been talking about it for a long, long time in planning sessions and other types of activity. We did apply for and receive a grant through the Game and Parks, and then most recently applied for another one and were awarded through the CCCFF, Community Civic Center Financing Fund. To make this project almost fully funded, there will be a little bit of cost left that we probably will have to take from our local option sales tax for the parks, but we do have almost all of the funds for this project. And then we'll also have a couple other grants that we're going to get. We might not have to use any of our local option sales tax if all of the other smaller grants come through like we hope they will. Anyway, so we're just wanting to move forward with this. We originally, when we applied for those grants, the city council had approved moving forward with having Brickyard do, after we bid out the process, they were the ones that received the bid, to do a 30% design and engineering, which we did include with the grant applications, and it was very, very helpful in making our grant applications successful to have a 30% design and engineering. I know that because I've talked to other communities that have applied for these funds and just kind of gave the basic idea and didn't have that and were not awarded. So it worked out very good for us. But now we're wanting to move forward. Now that we received the funds, we need to do the full engineering for this project. And that is what we're asking to move forward with now. The cost is $135,000. to do the full 100% engineering, and then also they will provide all the other services, like when we do street projects and things like that, that MC Schaff and Associates provide. They'll do they'll write the bid document for us to make sure it is in compliance with both the grants. They'll also do the quality checking of the construction as it's moving along, much like what we would do with any other major project. And I think, another thing I want to mention, the $135,000 is not outside of our original estimate. The original project estimate that we got from the engineers when they did the 30% was somewhere around 1.4, 1.5 million. With a contingency for whatever might happen. We do have 1.2 in grant funding and another 100,000 that I believe is another grant that we'll probably have as well. So we're very close to getting that, but that did include this amount. So we can use this amount, we can pay for this out of those funds as well. And it's awesome that we have two grants that can match each other, so the city doesn't have to come up with the money to cover it. But we're just wanting to keep moving forward with the project.
Sounds awesome.
It's gonna be fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it's great to keep those spaces and those areas looking nice, and another place for kids to hang out.
Yeah.
People.
Between
adults.
the hours of dusk and dawn.
Yes.
Dawn dusk.
Unless there's an event going on and you're being peaceful.
The
New
splash
ordinance.
pad will go off at dusk, right? Have it on timer.
All right. Do we have a motion for the Brickyard Engineering Agreement to North Park?
I'll move.
Motion by Bonnegaard,
I'll second.
second by Coons. Roll call, please.
Bonnegar,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Radcliffe.
All right, excellent. Motion passes 5-0 for the Brickyard Engineering Agreement. We have April 2025 budget reports. Kagan Carwin.
Good evening, council. Kagan Carlin, Finance Director for the City of Sydney. Jumping into the general revenue breakdown, kind of a tough month overall, but we definitely had some bright points within it. Looking at the breakdown for the monthly aspect, property tax DMV up 21,000 from last year, or 29%. Majority obviously is just property tax. The I guess misconception here in the sales and occupation tax, even though we were down, we did see a positive within the sales tax. So that's definitely one of those things that kind of, when we look at it, it is down the 4.2K from last year, 2.4%, but that's mainly from the occupation tax side, as sales tax did come in flat to positive. So definitely a bonus to see that sales tax pop back up for us. Like I said, we'll continue to watch that as we move forward in coming months, and hopefully we, see that tracking, that it's still positive, especially as we get into these summer months where we start to see more travel and more activity throughout the town. So fees for service up 18.4K to last year, or 18.33%. Mainly golf course revenue. Huge month for them year over year. Just so you're aware, the numbers came in for the month on the golf course at $104,881.73. So that's what they brought in revenue on last year's $85,387.16. So, and then Aquatic also popped in there as well, doubling their revenue on the season passes from last year to this year, up to $2,450. So seems like summer is right around the corner, and I can't believe, we're already at the end of the school year, and I think everybody's getting ready for that summertime event. So state, federal, and county up 126.4K to last year, or 405.16. We had a grant drop into the general fund that is for the creative district. That was $100,000, and then we got a $25K reimbursement for transportation from the state. So that's why we're seeing such a large jump there. Is just that $100K. Franchise and admin fee down 205.7K K from last year, just admin fees being timed. Going forward, I'll try to make sure those are in the correct months so that it's correlating, that we'll have a wash at the end of it, so that we aren't seeing these huge scales from month to month and year to year. So, but looking at our year to date, we are flat on this, so no big changes there. In the other category, we're up 8.7K from last year, or 205.5%. This is from the solar land lease. We did get the first payment there on that, so definitely moving forward, and I think that project is
Out up and going.
pretty well done. So it's into the final bits and pieces of it. In the year-to-date category, I think just the biggest call out is we do have a positive year, being up over 100 grand. So it's good to see. Like I said, we got a lot of things to track here in the back half of the year, and make sure that we're watching these numbers accordingly, as long as, our sales tax and aquatic center and, the golf course stay busy, everything will be, fine and dandy, right? So that's really the big thing for the general fund. As we jump into April, street was down $51,440. The big key here is we had the 13th underpass was done. Had a pretty good sized bill there with Mark Chrisman. They did a wonderful job putting that concrete in and getting that put back to correct status. So that's why we're seeing that down. Electric, we're sitting at 186 down, or 168 down. Again, substation project is kind of eating away at that, but that's a good project as we move forward into the future for Sydney. Everything else, water, sewer, landfill, all positive. Water at 31,000, sewer at 27,000, and landfill at 75,000. Even as we jump over to the year-to-date numbers, I know they're looking a little tough. Into the water, sewer, and landfill. Water is obviously going to kick off as everybody's watering their lawns. I know mine is. And then landfill where we had the big purchase on the Mack roll-off truck. Dean's doing a great job at eating away at the deficit that we created early on. And he's had some big revenue months to come in and hopefully correct that. I think we're kind of on the path as we were last year, to being down most of the year and seeing that positive come back with the good work that he's done there. So, kudos to all the superintendents for working hard and keeping us on track and staying within, budget targets and so on and so forth. So, and we'll start our budget preparations here in the coming months for fiscal year 26. I know a lot of them have put in a lot of work planning for the future. So, like I said, big kudos to each and every one of the superintendents. Any questions?
On the underpass, now that it's done, are we going to get a check from somebody, from insurance company for that?
So they are fighting that. I don't think there's a true guarantee whether we will or won't, but
Fighting, like, Andrew, you're
we're
fighting
trying
that, or-
to.
I know the insurance company attorney is, and I think that Jay is still involved in that.
Oh, okay.
However, if you'd like me to follow up on that, I sure would.
I'd love to know if we're going to get paid for it. It seems like some driver with
We
insurance hit our
did submit the estimates.
underpass and caused damage. We ought to get it checked. My opinion.
I will put that down.
Yes, I have questions for you, Kate.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so I guess just let's start with some simple things. So you already covered one achievement. Is there any other achievements, outside of the golf course that you just want to give recognition for?
I think sales tax is probably an achievement. We've had a real rocky year with it. I don't think it's necessarily come in the way everybody's planned, but we are seeing, positive trends within it. So I think that's an achievement for everyone here in town to, stay strong and keep everything going, because we are headed in the right directions. Signs are there that we have positive light at the end of the tunnel, and I think as we get to these summer months and get that activity going, we'll see it. So
yeah, and I just want to say a note on the golf course that it looks like, at least for the next month, we should be in really good shape, because our golf course actually looks pretty good, relatively speaking. There's two other golf courses in the area. I won't name them. They're just unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we're drawing in some people that want to play some golf.
Correct. And I
here.
was, I know Lance has done a lot of work to making sure that the greens are up and ready to go. I know one of the area ones is actually going to be shutting down their greens for the next month. So, the fact that we might be able to drive that revenue there is a bonus for us. It was obviously a harsh winter, no moisture, so I think golf courses in this area are just going to take a little bit of a hit right now. So,
Yeah. No, excellent. And then you kind of gave kudos to Dean for working out the financials. Anybody else you want to?
I think everybody. I mean, the superintendents make my job easy. Is the way I put it. I know Waters. We've had a lot of conversations with Water about future things that Joe's going to need, how we can kind of put that into play, how we can get prepared for it so that we don't have to see such a large hit when that time comes. We've made some pretty good investments here over the last year that I think will benefit. It's just coming down to a timing when parts and engineering and so on and so forth come in, which he's done a great job at, obtaining all that stuff. And same thing with sewer. We've got the ARPA project going on at the wastewater treatment facility. Todd's staying on top of it, making sure that those funds get spent accordingly and in a timely manner. So, I mean, our guys are hard at work at making sure that we plan for the future. So.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. A lot of things going on.
Yeah. Well, I guess one last thing. This is probably the most complicated one to answer. In terms of issues, what issues are you seeing that are out there, I guess, relative to the budget, right? Like, so we're 58% the way through our fiscal year. And are you seeing issues with what expenditures and what revenue issues are you seeing, and what do you think are going to be the fix to these things? And you already covered some of them, right?
Yeah,
But-
I mean, I don't know that we necessarily have a ton. Health insurance reserves is obviously a big one that's affected us last year and then into this year.
Right.
We've, not that we don't want people to get adequate health care or anything like that, but it has ate away at those reserves. So those are things that as we go into budget preparations with our health insurances, it's going to affect, financially how what is transferring from city funds and what employees are putting in and so on and so forth. So that's kind of one of those benefits that we watch and continue to talk about and make sure you guys are aware of during those budget work sessions so that we know how to, plan accordingly, right? That's probably the biggest challenge that we're going to have. One of the biggest challenges we're going to have this year is making sure that we handle that correctly, I guess, or as best that we can so that we can start building that reserve back up so that we're not having to make a mass transfer one time during the year to protect the account financially. So,
right.
Which has not happened, by the way. We have not made any mass transfer to protect the account. Right now, I think last I looked, we were sitting just under like 600 grand in it, and we really should be a little under $1 million in it. I mean, but it's just been one of those things, even the auditors called it out in the audit that it has been a slow decline. And even this year has been a slow decline. We've taken the hits during the months, and we're watching it and trying to plan accordingly.
Hard to predict employees, and healthcare that they might need. And like Kagan said, we don't want to discourage anybody from getting what they need, but it has dwindled down throughout the last couple of years by about probably 400 grand. So, and we took a big increase last year, and I think what that probably lends to is we might be looking at another one this year during budget session. So.
That's all the questions I have for you, Kagan. Thank you so much.
Any others?
You did an excellent job, apparently.
Thank you.
All right,
The
thank
solar
you.
project, by the way, I think, did somebody ask, or maybe, I don't remember, somebody said something about that. I think the only thing they're waiting on now, it's fully charged and hooked and ready to go. They're just waiting to get their final approvals from WAPA now. So, I mean, through some other agencies that they need to work with, Mean and WAPA, to make this thing go, but it's getting very close. But it's definitely fully functional, so.
That is awesome. All right. So we have a motion to approve the budget reports.
All motion to approve the budget reports.
Motion by Kirkman,
I would second.
second by Radcliffe. Roll call, please.
Kirkman?
Yes.
Yes.
Sherman?
Yes.
Radcliffe?
Yes.
Bonnefield?
Yes.
All right, motion passes 5-0. And then we had claims. Brett scoured the claims, is that safe to say?
Yeah, definitely looked through. It was my first run with it, so just had to do a lot of Googling to figure out what some of these companies are that we're paying out checks to. And then I asked Lori some questions. She helped fill in some blanks on some things. So yeah, no, it was really good to see what all buckets, all the different money ends up in there. But I didn't have any real concerns with anything on as far as transactionally speaking. And,
She's really got that job figured out, doesn't she?
I think she does, yeah.
Very helpful, thank you. All right, we have a motion to pass the claims for April.
I'll move.
Motion by Bondegard,
I'll second.
second by Radcliffe. Roll call, please.
Coons?
Yes.
Sherman?
Yes.
Radcliffe?
Yes.
Bonnefield?
Yes.
Kirkman?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. We are on to the city manager's report.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot. I know it was mentioned the wastewater treatment facility project earlier, and we are hearing now, and Kagan's right. Todd does a fantastic job of keeping on them and trying to keep this thing moving forward. There were some issues. I think we've got most of them mostly worked out, and it sounds like they're wanting to even start working on that here early next month. So that would be really good because we really do want to start getting that project done. So thought I'd fill you in on that. Couple things, tomorrow night at the Elks, I believe it's from 5 to 7. Safe Streets Action Plan will be there, and this is getting near about the last time to give your public input on any area of town you think there's a bad intersection or a dangerous area for pedestrians or travelers in all kinds of multimodal forms. So if you want to give your input on the Safe Streets Action Plan, show up tomorrow at night at the Elks between 5 and 7 and do so, please. Also attended the NIFA conference in Lincoln along with WNED, Jordan Dietrich and myself, and then Brandy also was there. I made some really good contacts, and it's interesting. We used to go and talk to people and then, have to call and try to follow up and see, well, remember you talked to us?
Yeah.
We got back and we didn't get back till late that day, so I didn't get to the office till the next morning, and so did Brandy, and so did Jordan from WNED and Twin Cities Development. So we were, as you can imagine, backlogged on emails, and before we could even get back to people, we all had emails from developers wanting to work in the region. So we must have made an impression on them, so I was super happy about that and wanted to report that to the council. And then Thursday at noon is the strategic planning session, and we will have lunch for you guys for that. Just want to remind you of that. And then I guess, I'll let Jason talk about it. I had one other thing, but I don't want to steal yours. That's all I had.
All right, we'll go around the horn. Marshall, tell us about building permits. I know if I ask you to say something, you won't, so I have to ask you all the building permits. How many do we have this month? You can say a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
I can tell you, like, the last 2 days, because it was really nice yesterday, it was really nice again today, I walked past Marshall's office almost every time I walked by, there was a different person in there.
Yeah.
So people are doing stuff.
People are definitely kicking up.
That's the most people I've
We
seen
got
in a long
some
time.
things going. O'Reilly, I asked them the other day if they are still on target for hitting their opening date, and he said yes. I won't say that yet to be, I don't want to let it loose, but we've got the holes digging over there at the ranch. They're starting to look good. They should be forming up this week to pour. We are getting back to the houses off John Born, and so we're making progress, yes.
Excellent. Well, that is fantastic news. I appreciate just a little prodding, getting some information out of you. It was very nice.
Yes, sir.
And Joe, you're not getting away with it either. What's going on over there at the water department?
Just keep tearing up corners, replacing fire hydrants, and making things better.
That's fantastic. Well, I got my sprinkler set 3 hours every evening for you, just to help bump up those numbers. All right. Well, what would you like to say, Josh?
Well, just getting around to all the different departments and really just learning the in and outs with all the experts here. So we spent a lot of time with Kagan, going over the budget side of things. Spent a lot of time with Marshall as well too, mostly on floodplain evaluations, BFEs, stuff like that, which is very new but very interesting as well too. We spend the day with Tom tomorrow on the electrical department side of things. Spent quite a few hours today with Todd as well over on the wastewater treatment facilities. So just trying to really make my rounds and kind of practice that job shadowing with all the department heads, and again, just learn as much as I can and what I can do to continue to support them in this role.
Yeah, well, number one, again, congratulations, and appreciate you being here. I have no doubt that you're got your feet wet and you're just going to keep running until you got it all figured out, which won't take long, I imagine, because we do have quite a few very good superintendents and department heads and people that work in these departments. Been here for a long time and know a lot of stuff about Sidney and how to keep it running, so I look forward to it. And then Sam, keeping it safe, that's important.
My best. So, we are actually picking up quite a bit when summertime's hitting. Obviously, people staying out later or longer, since our last meeting, council meeting, or I think we're over 500 some calls, so we're running pretty hard lately. Additionally, I'd like to go ahead and let you guys know that it's been really kind of cool working with the Sydney Public School System. They've been gracious enough to start offering us their building on off hours and during the summer for us, the guys have been training. It's good for them to see the layout and stuff in training than it would be on a real call. Hopefully that never happens, but let's be prepared for it. Additionally, it also hitting summers is kind of when we start hitting our training stride. So I'll try to keep David and you guys informed before we do any major events that might stir up questions and concerns. So.
Fantastic. Kagan?
Pretty nice.
Yeah?
23 total views and 10 of them are still hanging in there.
Still hanging in there. Because of you guys. They want to hear what you say. They put up with me all night. Well, that's fantastic. Chase?
I just want to thank everyone that came to the Tree City USA Tree Giveaway as well. That was awesome. We had well over 100 people there. Handed out at least 95 trees, so that was great community for people to come to. And then the pool will be opening next Saturday, so May 24th. We're opening the pool. They're both full. The filtration's working. It's been treated with acid and chlorine, and we got the furnaces started today, so LPG as well.
That's one I didn't want to steal from you.
And pool is opening.
24th, and that Tree City thing, they were digging deep in the closets for chairs for everybody. Like they were going way into their reserve.
That's crazy.
It was
Yeah.
crazy.
No, it is an awesome event, and it's always good to go to and get a tree. Fantastic. Chad, it's not often that we have representative from the cemetery. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just Memorial Day prep. We're getting caught up on a couple of places that got a little tall because we had a mower breakdown last week, I believe. So we're running getting that caught up, and we'll have her all ready for the big event.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you. Casey?
I just want to give a shout out to my crew. Like I said, we do about 90 school kids a day all year long, and we've only managed to lose one kid. Ms. Kagan's, so like.
I don't even know how to deal with that. But thank you for the report. Oh, that's fantastic. What can we do for you?
Nothing. I'm good.
Things happy? You guys are always happy?
Yeah, we're happy.
How about the golf course? Do you have any expert advice on
Just
how
go
it
play.
works out there?
Go
Just
play.
the wind needs to go down.
Yeah, the wind could stop anytime.
Well, that's fantastic. Brett?
I guess the only thing I got, I'm looking forward to that strategic meeting, right? Street planning meeting, which I think anybody can come and go as they please from the public, right? I mean,
We would love that.
yeah, so just encourage anybody and everybody. It's going to be a long session, I'm sure, but just pop in, and if you don't want to stay for the whole thing, we understand. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
That's great. And Rob, I don't want to shortcut you here, but I forgot to back up and go to Lori, the brains of the administrative office.
And yes, I do have something.
Nice.
We're having a farmer's market meeting on May 19th at 2:30 PM for anybody that has any questions about the farmer's market or people that might want to become vendors for the farmer's market.
So all your farmers market questions can be answered. And you'll also probably offering or accepting volunteers and anybody that wants to help out there.
Yeah, always.
Fantastic. Kendra, what would you like to say?
Well, I have something to say too.
This is
Big
great.
time.
I am
Big
glad that I
time.
remembered not to forget you.
On May 29th, I'll be attending a seminar in Lincoln that's focused on being a city attorney.
Well, fantastic. That'll be very helpful.
It will be very helpful.
All right. Now it's your turn.
Well, I forgot what I was going to say. No, tomorrow night at the Elks with that Safe Streets for All, I'd like to see quite a few people in there. And you can come hungry because they are doing their meal that night too, so.
What's for supper then?
Well, the special's pulled pork,
That sounds delicious.
but they have the regular menu too, so.
Don't they have a buffet there, a lunch or a salad buffet at Monday through Wednesday at 11 to 1 or anything like that?
That does happen, yes.
Really? That's
Yeah.
pretty good salad there. All right. Anything else? All right, well, clearly my favorite thing to do is talk and make other people talk, so thank you so much for coming, participating in the meeting. Always great to see so many people here to talk about all the great things, because every meeting we have, we're talking about great things. We're not talking about how to fix things and what went wrong and what we can do better. It's what we're doing moving forward. The solar project, which got a compliment tonight, which is fantastic. We got an opportunity for a daycare after school project there, creating jobs. Sounds like a fantastic deal. We bought a bus for 90% off. It's a heck of a deal. We had Donovan come in here and very, very eloquently ask for permission to paint on our building, a very worthwhile project. And he needs $4,000. So please, find a way to get this man $4,000. You can call me at 249-2321. I did remember my phone number. You know, I'd love to see more artists come forward and want to paint on stuff. It looks nice in the places that we do have, and I'd like to see more of that. It would be fantastic. We have a creative district. You can join that, find out things about that. We have an art studio that had a ribbon cutting the other day, and they're a year into their business, and just fantastic support. Unbelievable. Take your kids there. You can go there and paint something. It's they got lots of stuff to do, and not just painting. And then we got Spring Creek here continuing to grow and build their business. We got a Northside Park going up. Just such a fantastic amount of stuff going on, and again, all because of the citizens of the greatest city in the world, Sydney, Nebraska. So thank you so much for coming to the meeting, and we will adjourn this meeting at 6:43.